Yun-ok waited anxiously for her husband's return. He had been away fighting a long and terrible war. Finally, she saw him walking down the road. He looked thin and weary. When he reached their home, Yun-ok rushed to greet him. She had missed him terribly, but her husband just turned away from her. He was a stranger. The war had changed him. Yun-ok was heartbroken. She tried everything to reach her husband. She cooked his favorite meals. She spoke to him with kind words. But nothing seemed to work. Her husband remained distant and cold. Yun-ok felt hopeless. She didn't know what to do. She feared she had lost her husband forever. One day, Yun-ok heard about a wise old hermit. He lived high up in the mountains. People said he could help with any problem. Yun-ok decided to seek his advice. She packed a bag with food and set off on the long journey. The path was steep and winding. Yun-ok grew tired, but she kept going. She was determined to save her marriage. Finally, Yun-ok reached the hermit's cave. The hermit was sitting cross-legged, deep in meditation. He listened patiently as Yun-ok poured out her heart. She told him about her husband and the war. Tears streamed down her face as she spoke. When she finished, the hermit nodded slowly. He knew just what to do. "Your husband is like a wounded animal," the hermit said. "He needs time and gentleness to heal." He told Yun-ok about a powerful potion that could help, but the key ingredient was very rare. "You must bring me a whisker from a living tiger," the hermit instructed. Yun-ok was terrified. A tiger was a fearsome and dangerous creature, but she was desperate to save her husband, so Yun-ok agreed to try. The hermit gave Yun-ok a small wooden bowl. Each day, he said, "Go to the edge of the forest. Leave a bowl of rice and milk for the tiger. Be patient, be kind. In time, the tiger will sense your good intentions." Yun-ok thanked the hermit and made her way back down the mountain. The next day, Yun-ok went to the edge of the forest. Her heart pounded with fear. She carefully placed the bowl of rice and milk on the ground. Then she quickly retreated to a safe distance. Yun-ok returned every day. She never saw the tiger, but each morning the bowl was empty. Weeks turned into months. The forest began to feel familiar to Yun-ok. She learned the songs of the birds. She watched the deer graze peacefully. The fear she had felt began to fade. It was replaced by a sense of peace. Yun-ok realized that she had found solace in the forest, even without the tiger's whisker. Section 5. A Fearsome Friend. One day Yun-ok heard a low growl. She froze, her heart pounding in her chest. There in front of her stood the tiger. It was magnificent. Its stripes seemed to shimmer in the dappled sunlight. Yun-ok was afraid, but she stood her ground. She remembered the hermit's words. "Be patient, be kind." Slowly, she held out her hand. The tiger watched her intently. Then, to her surprise, it dipped its head and took a step closer. From that day on, the tiger allowed Yun-ok to come closer. She continued to bring the rice and milk. Sometimes the tiger would even eat from her hand. Yun-ok learned to read the tiger's moods. She discovered that it was not a mindless beast. It was a creature of great intelligence and feeling. Section 6. The Gift of Trust. One morning, Yun-ok noticed that the tiger seemed distressed. It paced back and forth, pawing at its face. Yun-ok cautiously approached the tiger. She saw that a long, sharp thorn was lodged in its cheek. The tiger flinched as Yun-ok reached out, but it allowed her to gently remove the thorn. As Yun-ok pulled the thorn free, a single whisker came loose in her hand. The tiger dipped its head in gratitude. Yun-ok held the whisker carefully. She realized that she had not taken it. The tiger had given it to her. It was a gift of trust and friendship. Yun-ok knew that she could finally return to the hermit. Section 7. The Potion of Hope. Yun-ok rushed back to the hermit's cave. She presented the tiger's whisker with both hands. She told him about the long months. She described the tiger's gentleness. The hermit listened intently, a knowing smile on his face. He took the whisker and brewed a steaming potion. The potion smelled of herbs and mountain air. "Give this potion to your husband," the hermit instructed. "But remember, true healing takes time." Yun-ok thanked the hermit and hurried back to her village. She was filled with hope. She couldn't wait to give the potion to her husband. Section 8. The Whisker's True Magic. Yun-ok rushed to her husband. "I have something that will help you," she exclaimed. She carefully held the potion to his lips. Her husband drank the potion slowly. He looked at Yun-ok with a glimmer of recognition in his eyes. It was a small change, but it filled Yun-ok with joy. Her husband was still distant. He still bore the scars of war, but Yun-ok understood something now. She realized that the tiger's whisker had worked its magic on her. It had taught her the true meaning of patience. It had shown her the power of gentle, persistent love. Section 9. A Love Renewed. Yun-ok continued to care for her husband with unwavering devotion. She approached him with the same patience and kindness she had shown the tiger. Slowly, day by day, her husband began to heal. The walls he had built around himself began to crumble. He started to speak of the war. He shared his pain and his fear. Yun-ok listened without judgment. She offered him comfort and support. Together they began to rebuild their life. It was a long and slow process, but with each passing day their love grew stronger. They had learned the true meaning of patience, resilience, and the enduring power of love. And it all began with a tiger's whisker.